Good afternoon, evening, morning, YouTube. This is Razadine, a member of Redguides, and today I'm going to walk you through the three most common auto login procedures, a few of the common errors I have seen and how to fix them, and pretty much that's going to be it for today's video. So, with no further ado, let us get rolling on these procedures. Alright, first thing you must do, regardless of type of login method you're going to use, is always remember to load your MacroQuest. So, double click on it, and of course, it'll come down here to your tray of running tasks, and you can see it is sitting right there. Alright, folks? Alright, once you've done that, you have one of three ways you can get into MacroQuest, or not MacroQuest, EverQuest. The first is the most commonly used one, which is your standard everyday EverQuest launcher. Simply double click this icon, load the game as if you never were using any type of macroing software or alternate launcher, and click on your play button, and of course you will come eventually to server select. And there we go. Now, at this point, through all three versions, you will see no changes here. The changes don't show up until you get the character select screen where you'll see the MQ2 program loaded. This is the most simplest one, but it has a major drawback. If you're running 6 tunes and you go select your server, click on play, and get into the game, what's going to happen is while this screen shows your character, this one right out here that was the launcher, as you can see, vanished on me. So you have to double click, relaunch it again 5 more times, and load in the other 5 tunes. Can be a bit cumbersome, pain in the ass, but that's its drawback. That's the simplest. The next one is a program by a company called Lavishsoft, which is called WinEQ. You can get WinEQ by going to www.lavishsoft.com. Also, there's a program that is more macro advanced called ISBoxer that is simply a program that can allow you to send multiple keystrokes to different sessions, all from just being on one character screen. That is an overlay that is different than MacroQuest. MacroQuest is its own thing specific to EverQuest and in-game. ISBoxer here is simply another type of client launcher that will allow you to launch 6 tunes at once, quicker than the standard EverQuest launcher, with more macro capability for telling it to do several different commands to 6 windows at once. For more information on ISBoxer, just search the web for ISBoxer and you'll be able to find it. You will see that 99% of the videos are geared towards WoW. That's because that's what most people use ISBoxer for that have made YouTube videos. I've seen a few EverQuest ones. They're very good. WinEQ here, which is what I use, is EverQuest solely. It is limited to a very simple macro setup for key switching of screens. For example, if I have 6 characters running, I can tell it Alt-1 goes to my warrior, Alt-2 goes to my cleric, 3 to my magician, 4 to my enchanter, 5 to my wizard, and 6 to my ranger. So if I'm on my ranger and I press Alt-2, I will automatically switch to my cleric without having to do something like Alt-Escape or Alt-Tab and constantly keep switching between programs. It can be a pain in the butt, and when you need to get to that cleric to do that heal, I think one keystroke to switch between 2 different tunes is much better. Alternatively, when you're using WinEQ2 here, if you have a G15 keyboard by Logitech or a SteelSeries keyboard, which is called Apex by SteelSeries, you'll get the same capabilities of you can make pre-programmed hotkeys on little macro buttons on the side, across the top. So all you have to do is press one button, will do the same thing as Alt-1, Alt-2, and so on. Alright folks, and with that, let me show you how you launch via the WinEQ launcher. You double click it right here to get it to load. Once you have it loaded, you simply then go down here to your icons, find the WinEQ, right click, that's MacroQuest. Hold on, folks. Gonna grab the right one. Oh, it is not loaded, so let me load it. Thought I had it loaded. Double click it. It'll load, do its update check. It comes down here on your hotbar. Simply right click, go up to EverQuest, go to the character you want, and it will load that character. Not all the way in. It'll get up to login, put in your password, and once you're in here, the rest is the same as the standard launcher. Click your server, click on Play EverQuest, or if you have it pre-done, do that server down there, and off you go, and you're running. The third and final one is the one by MacroQuest people themselves, which is their own standard launcher via their what they call the MQ2 Auto Login. Now, to do MQ2 Auto Login, you have to do a couple of things. All right, and there are certain ways you can do this. First step, you have to get it loaded. How you do that is you simply go over to your updater, bring it up. It'll ask you to log in. We don't want to do that yet. You click on Plugins. You come up with your list here. You will scroll all the way down to where it says Auto Login. And then you put a check, click on Save. This window will go away. You click on Update. It'll update and create the file for you. Now that file is in your MQ2 directory. And that's where you stored it. MQ2, that is. I put it on my E drive here, and I simply go down and find the auto login. One moment. INI here. And this is what your auto login INI is going to look like once you've got it set up. Now you're going to ask me, well, what is all this garbage like right here where I see server.name and then all underscore blob equals blah 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 here. Alright? That is because when you set up and create your profile, you will have it all set to, it has some, hopefully my information is not still in there, has your characters all set. So how you do that is you click on your icon down here, you go to your MacroQuest icon, right click it, go to Profiles, Create New Profile. And when you do that, this screen will come up. This screen is where you fill in the information. Now, when you do this, you must be very, very careful and specific to follow these directions. The first thing you want to do is put in the profile name. Your profile name must be only one word, like this. It cannot be like this. If you do it like this, what will happen is when you begin the login procedure, it will muck it up because it will read the first word, in this case, which is 2, as your username, and then not allow you to launch properly because basically it will ignore the rest of this. You need to make sure that your profile name is one word. And then you follow the rest of these steps here by putting in your login name, your station name, your password, the server shortcut, which I'll show you in just a second, and your character's name. All of these must be spelled correctly. You don't have to worry about case sensitivity. It does not matter. Finally, you would come down here to Browse and choose where you have your EverQuest MacroQuest at, which in my case is in the public EverQuest, which is the public Daybreak Games /installed games /EverQuest. And then you click Save. Alright, now let me show you how you get the server name for the server name portion. What you do is you come over here to the Redguides. You would click this icon here and click this one here. It'll take you to a description of very vanilla. Alright, you will scroll down till you find the one that is listed what they approve in here, which I'll show this to you, which is the MQ2 Auto Login. Alright, you've done that. You'll get a new window that looks like this. It'll show you 4 different ways. You scroll all the way to the bottom of the list here, and here is all the server shortcuts. Notice that Lockjaw and Ragefire are here because Very Vanilla knows what their shortcut is. Alright, For those of you on Quorum, Finnegal, the TrueBox servers, they are not listed here because they are not known shortcuts. Because the folks here at Redguides for the very vanilla have not figured it out yet. I don't know if they've not gotten to it or it's not been able to be detected. But you put in the shortcut for your server. Since the server I'm doing the demo on is going to be Povar Quelios, which it says in game, Povar Quelios, just put Povar. It will recognize it and log you into that server. Alright, let's see. Alright, got that taken care of. Alright, now, once you've done that, oh, one more thing back on that page, just so you know, there is right here an alternative way to use the auto login with WinEQ ISBoxer itself to make it automatically do all the same things that this one right here, their standalone, let me find it, the standalone one they've written here will do, alright? But I have yet to get it figured. Notice they also have here, if you can't get it to load when you check it, this is the alternative way in game, so you'd have to log into game once to do it by typing simply slash plugin. Oh, it's not the right one. Here, hold on. Where was it? Here it is. Sorry, folks. The one on here, type slash plugin MQ2 auto login to load it. All right. So if you cannot get it via the way I showed you earlier, go ahead and load one character in the game. Type this command. All right. So let's get out of here and talk about how you use their auto login. Excuse me for a sec, folks. Sorry about that. Okay. Once you have it set up and created, you go down to your icons here in your task tray for running applications. You know, TSRs, memory stay resident programs. You go up to profiles, you choose the profile you want, and you go ahead and tell it to load all, if you want all of them. Now let's say you just want your cleric in your profile. Alright, well, I'm going to use my pre-105 group, and if you notice, I've got one here only checked. Let me get back there, which is this enchanter here. But let's say I'm going to be grouping with a bunch of people. I want to use MacroQuest to still use all the other features because I'm not going to automate a group. I'm just using one character for this time because I'm grouping with 5 guildmates. What you would do is simply right click on all the other tunes and use uncheck. Now, if we go back in here, they're all unchecked. I want that cleric only. So if I right click here and choose check, it'll load just that cleric. And I'll go ahead and run this little demo of how it works. So I've told MacroQuest to load every single tune, or just this cleric. And as you can see by what it's doing, it loaded the game, it logged me in, it shows my server, and is now making its way to character select screen. Bear with me, folks. Alright, there you go. It's doing the first load to a character. We're going to get here in a sec. And you noticed the whole screen didn't come up without even pressing a button, okay, or clicking on the tune. It shows that character, hit the enter world button, didn't even move the mouse, and is logging this character all the way in. And in just a few seconds, folks, you'll see that this cleric is going to be logged all the way in. This is very helpful for a 6-box group, so you don't have to constantly choose a profile, log it in, type the password, and so on like you do with WinEQ. The downside here is, at this time, doing it with a standalone, there is no way to do an Alt 1 through 6 to hot switch directly between other tunes. You have to do the Alt Escape method or the Alt Tab method, which looks like this. Hopefully they'll be able to add that in someday, but hey, I don't know when. So let me go ahead and quit out of this tune. And let me show you other couple things you can do with the MacroQuest standalone. Nice thing is, you can, like I said, do 1 tune or 6 tunes. You can tell it if you're in game, for example, with this whole